previously on the Budgeteers. After 24 days of adventure, both awe-inspiring and gut-wrenching, we had finally made it to the Guatemalan border, some 5,000 kilometers from where we had started, equaling the distance we had traveled in the entire first series alone. But with just over half the budget remaining, the Central American adventure had finally begun, and we were ready for whatever it had to throw at us. Welcome back. We're very confused right now, aren't we? That
is Mexico.
That is Mexico, right? You see this? This is Guatemala. And we just walked across with absolutely no immigration.
Yeah. Nobody asked us any question. We could just walk through there 5 times.
Normally when you leave a country you have to get a stamp exit, right? But they just told us the immigration is like 8 minutes drive away. So anyway, we're going to walk up to the Guatemalan officials and get an entry. Oh, this is the immigration right here, look. We do need to go get stamped out of Mexico. So we have to go 4 kilometers back into Mexico. Apparently we have to pay to leave Mexico. How much? 400 pesos?
Like 390.
Which Ty's worked out is how many tacos?
80 tacos.
I mean, I've been to some cowboy border crossings before, but this one's pretty relaxed. But you know, every country's different, and that's why we like to travel. Hello.
Yes, hola.
So anyway, back to Mexico, get stamped and come back. That building there was Mexican immigration. We went and got stamped out. It didn't actually cost us anything. Hello. Hello. Buenos dias. Can you take us to the border?
Vamos a la frontera. Sí.
Gracias.
Gracias.
See how we're getting good at hitchhiking now?
That was 3 seconds.
It's just a case of like Chinese whispers. Like what the thing is, like me and Ty's from Europe. We're used to very, very strict rules with immigration. Passports, officers, uniforms, rules, regulations, hours in queues, getting scanned, bags checked. And we just walked into Guatemala.
Because we wanted to play it all by the rules, and we were just like, oh, we want to get stamped, and if you're a criminal with bad intentions, you just walk in. Yeah. No questions asked. The good thing is we solved it quickly and without spending money.
Let's wait and see.
We made it. We crossed the border. It cost us 25 pesos, just over $1 each to leave to enter.
$1.25 about.
Yeah. This is the border town. What we would do normally is I'd get my phone out and look on the map, contact our couchsurfing host, but I don't know if you saw in the last episode, Lena pushed me. All it means is we're just going to hitchhike and see what happens. Make sure we get somewhere safe and sound before dark, and then head to the capital city probably tomorrow, where we do have a couchsurfing host, which is good.
No, 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 no.
Don't fire him off now, we're moving. So this is our first ride in Guatemala. This guy wouldn't leave us alone.
Weirdly enough.
And he even jumped on the back of the truck. He's trying to sell us cigarettes. But look at this. Bit of a crazy introduction to Guatemala, but I'll take it. Alright, so we just got dropped off. Looks like we've shaken our mascot. He was harmless, wasn't he? But he just didn't... I think he was just trying to sell us cigarettes or something, and then he just jumped on the back of the truck and came with us. Yeah, here we go. This red truck's got our name written all over it.
10 minutes forward.
Let's just keep going.
Okay.
People are coming up to us and saying, do you need a lift? Up you go. Okay.
Vámonos.
Ride number 2 in Guatemala. How easy is it, Lena, to get a ride in Guatemala?
Stay with us, buddy.
Don't sit on there.
Yes, Mom.
I really like Guatemala already. "30 seconds we were there. Turn the camera on, get picked up, nice guy.
The go-to way.
Oh, gracias. ¿Cómo se llama? Giovanni. These are my favourite moments of being a budgeteer, is when you arrive in a country or a place, you don't have a single idea where you are. It's a new, new senses, new things you've never seen before, people you've never seen before. But you're surrounded by beautiful scenery, the people are really nice. I mean, we were getting smiles and waves by everyone as we were walking past. The road up ahead continued to wind through the stunning mountains. The family up front dropped us in their town of Weiwei.
Okay, so all our faces are red, by the way.
Red?
Yeah.
Oh really?
All have red faces. So we're here in Guatemala. We're in a town called Weiwei, and we don't have money. We don't really know where we are.
We have no Guatemalan money. The only thing that we have left is a few Mexican pesos,
yeah.
which means nothing here because they don't take it.
Yeah, and we're losing light. So we're just, this awesome family picked us up, and they're gonna drop us off in the center of Weiwei, and we're just gonna try to
find some money, find a place to stay, sort our shit out so we can travel onwards, but not today.
Oh, muchas gracias. Bye-bye. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Adiós.
Bye-bye.
Good morning from the beautiful church bells of Weiwei.
What's this noise? Make it stop.
This town, we're gonna go to Guatemala City via a lake, right?
We're gonna try to stop off at a lake called Atitlan. It's very famous. We're coming for you.
We're gonna stay in Guatemala City, kind of get to know Guatemala a little bit, try and figure out where we should go, what we should see, because we don't really know what we're doing really. Whether to go south to the coast or whether to just go north to Belize.
Or both.
Or both. Let's get ready and go find
breakfast!
We quickly made our way to the main road and got Ty's the breakfast of champions that he needed. After breakfast, we actually got really easy rides and started making great distance. Until my motion sickness. Guatemala 1, Lina 0. The guys collectively decided that it was best to just skip Atitlan altogether and get me to the capital as quickly as possible. Cheers, guys.
And I think we're at our car serving host's place. His name is Luciano. Let's say hello. Check out our air mattress. Check out our car serving host, Luciano.
Hi.
Here he is. How are you, buddy?
Good, good. That's my dog.
What's his name?
Momo.
Momo.
You're famous, Momo.
Yeah, you got a beautiful home.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. How many people have you hosted here?
20, 30.
Give me your paw.
So cool. Yeah, so Luciano said, oh, I need to go to the Walmart and get some things. So we've actually decided to treat ourselves, show everyone what we bought.
This is not very budgetary of us, but actually it was super cheap.
Yeah, it was the same price as
It was like $3.
Yeah. We're just gonna have a nice, chilled, relaxing evening with some wine. Here we have the Tempranillo Grenache.
I look like I'm high class.
But yeah, Luciano's here in Guatemala City. Beautiful host and a beautiful home.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
That's Mummy's dinner.
The next day, since our host was working, we decided to have a day out visiting the old capital of Antigua. We decided to use public transport, which turned out to be a complete nightmare. Hours of getting lost, 3 buses, a metro, and a minivan finally got us there. We were a little fed up and $35 out of the budget. Thankfully, the old city of Antigua is a gem and really blew us away. This gorgeous colonial city used to be the capital until the volcano that overlooks it erupted over 200 years ago, scaring most of the local population to relocate and create the new capital. The architecture and the atmosphere really takes you back to what it must have been like hundreds of years ago, since most of the buildings remain unchanged. To avoid the headache of public transport, we decided to hitchhike back, and we got picked up straight away. Within an hour, we were back in the new city with Luciano and his girlfriend Stephanie.
Guys, we're having the most amazing Guatemalan street food.
We have a pupusa, which is actually a corn tortilla that's filled with cheese. And then on top it has guacamole, and then this is shredded cabbage, and then just tomato sauce that's like homemade tomato sauce.
And it's from El Salvador?
Yeah, pupusa is actually from El Salvador, but we found it here.
Come on then, Ty's, taste test. Oh, and we're also drinking the local brew, Ty's. How's the local brew?
The local brew is quite good. It's a bit more expensive, but tastes decent.
Local Ty's. Good?
Yeah.
Rain is coming! The next morning, we said goodbye to Luciano and his beautiful apartment and caught a taxi to the north of the city, where according to the map, there was a highway all the way north to the ancient city of Tikal. However, the taxi driver told us that the area we wanted to hitchhike from was a really dangerous place, and even the police stopped our taxi from going into this area as they had lost control to the local gangs. We had no idea what to do, and it's safe to say we were a little bit worried, and then a local guy came over and told us we had to leave immediately for our own safety. So we quickly decided to jump in the next taxi and head straight back to the safer area in the center. We decided that the road was too dangerous to hitchhike on, and so reluctantly we found a local bus station and jumped on the first bus heading north on a different road. And we just spent the next few hours waiting and wondering where we would end up. 8 hours later, we arrived in a town called Coban, where we decided to spend the night and try and figure out where we should go next. Good morning!
Good morning.
So, after we escaped the city, we arrived at a town called Coban. Walked into a hotel to use the Wi-Fi and get coffee. Got talking to the guy who owns the hotel, told him our story. It was a really nice discount because really loved our adventure, and he knew that we wouldn't be able to afford to stay in his hotel.
Really
So
good.
thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Here's the hotel, it's in the main square. Anyways, 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Is it 6:30 in the morning?
6:30 in the morning.
And it is so loud, and everyone in the hotel is awake. If you can't beat them, join them.
Join them.
The town of Coban is an absolute gem where you can find loads of great street food and even a beautiful old church overlooking the entire city. Our amazing hotel manager Humberto recommended we go check out Semuc Champey, a town not too far from Coban known for its natural turquoise swimming pools. So the next morning we went and had one more delicious breakfast in the town square and started hitching our way to Semuc Champey and all of its turquoise glory. Until, once again, trouble found us.
So So Guatemala, you don't like the Budgeteers very much.
You don't like hitchhiking very much.
We started hitching on the corner of the street, and then the police come over. Lena translates to us that he's saying, don't hitchhike here, you'll get kidnapped.
Yeah, dangerous, you get kidnapped.
You've got to take their word for it at the end of the day if you don't listen to a policeman. Oh, queso. We're just going to get some cheese, we'll be back in a second. So anyways, yeah, we take the policeman's advice. We're like, alright, fine. Just as he's talking to us, a little minibus type, local bus pulls up.
Yeah.
$3 per person to take you. How many buses have we been on in this country? And like, it's not because we want to. It's because the police are telling us it's too dangerous. I mean, what would you guys do? Would you just hitchhike through it? Because I mean, if we were stupid enough, we would have done it. So now we've organised to get for about $2 each in the back of this truck, and he's going to take us to these. Hello, mate. He's going to take us to these swimming pools now.
In the river.
In the river, but like, I hope it's worth it. We've spent the whole day getting here. We were told it would be like a simple. Yeah, here it is. We thought it would be like 2-hour max journey. We're now easily in our 3rd or 4th hour. There's going to be no restaurants or anything, so we picked up some bread, some tomatoes, and some cheese, and we're going to try and make some cheese and tomato sandwiches to last us for the night and maybe tomorrow. Depends how hungry Ty's is. Meanwhile, we're off the beaten track anyway. This is Guatemala. This is the Guatemala we wanted to find when we left the Guatemalan city. Fair enough, we're getting scammed for bus tickets, but we're having an adventure.
Yeah. And normally, the harder it is to get there, the more worth it is. Like,
exactly. The ride was very picturesque, but also really bumpy. And after nearly an hour driving through the jungle, we arrived at a gorgeous river. There were a few hostels around, but we found a local guy called Juan who ran a campsite. And for just a few dollars, we got to break out our tent for the very first time. Since it was too late in the day to really go and explore the swimming pools, our plan was to just settle in, check out the gorgeous surroundings, and get to know some backpackers, the first ones we'd come across since starting this trip.
We are Fabiana y Rodrigo y nosotros estamos viajando por Sudamérica con la música y ahora vamos a cantar una musiquita que hicimos ahí. Vos na caminhada é preciso seguir. Não deixe que ninguém faça você desistir. Vos na caminhada eu preciso seguir. Seu mundo é você quem faz. Vai em frente.
Get that camera out of my face.
Get that camera in your face?
No.
Welcome to the Guatemalan jungle, where last night when we had our delicious 4-course meal of cheese and tomato tortillas, we were like, let's go have a walk, see if we can find some people.
We found them.
And we found a hostel. We had to jump over the barbed wire.
Swing the freaking hammock.
We had to jump over some barbed wire fences.
Yeah, because it was locked.
Because they didn't want anyone else to come in. We jumped in, found a happy hour bar, two drinks for the price of one.
No boy.
Anyway, we're gonna go check out these pools. Apparently they're really nice.
Vamos. No, tengo guayao. No.
Eventually the guys dragged themselves out of the hammock and we all made our way to the pools. We had no idea what to expect, but Juan had told us that there was an awesome lookout point 1 hour up into the jungle that was worth checking out. Pro travel tip for you: if you ever have a massive hangover, trekking in the jungle is the best cure. The lookout at the top was incredible. The pools below looked so enticing that we practically ran back down to finally enjoy what we had traveled all this way to experience.
The next morning, we left the campsite and the gorgeous jungle behind. The previous night, we had discussed our route and we agreed that heading south towards El Salvador instead of continuing north towards Belize would be faster and, more importantly, a safer journey. The hitch was going to be a really long and difficult one, so we left super early in the morning. This time our only goal was to make it to the border before it closed and hopefully before dark.
First ride.
We interrupt this montage with a budgeteer first. Oh my god! I had a dog near just got run over. We're getting picked up by a single mother with baby in car.
That has never happened, ever.
We need to go.
We gotta go because we're about to get picked up in El Salvador. So be sure to like the video, guys, if you enjoyed it, and subscribe.
See you in El Salvador.
And we'll literally see you in El Salvador in 2 seconds. All right.
For the next episode. Bye.
Within the jungle are various entrances into another underwater world. The Cenotes cave system, a vast subterranean world that extends deep beneath the Yucatan. A few years ago, a number of courageous cave divers started to map this almost inaccessible dark underworld, a very dangerous project upon which to embark. Little light from the outside world enters the uppermost regions, but the light attracts the fish that live here. But how did the Cenotes originate? They started as a reef, but following a drastic change in the water level, they became exposed. Along the edge of the crater, numerous fissures appeared. Rainfall enlarged the fissures in the coral limestone and gradually created a cave system that extended beneath the ocean bed. The Cenotes have always provided the people who settled in this region with a good supply of fresh water. The Cenotes have become the life source of the Yucatan, in which there's now rainfall for 2/3 of the year. After the Great Catastrophe, a new era began. The mountain ranges of the eastern Sierra Madre began to rise. The sea level fell, and a land bridge originated. The volcanic highlands of the Yucatan emerged, and below, a unique natural wonder was formed, the massive cave system of the Cenotes. But this represents only a tiny section of the largest flooded cave system on our planet. Much still remains to be discovered. The name Cenote is derived from the Mayan word Tzonot, sacred spring. That is what the Mayan people called the countless small waterholes of this region. It was often wildlife that led people to the waterholes that lay well hidden in the dense vegetation. Mayan belief was based on fact. In a mystic way, they understood that the entire vegetation of the Yucatan depended on the waters of the Cenotes, the circle of nature. Their ruling monarchs embodied the incarnated tree of the world. They were travelers between this world and the afterlife, and they saved the cosmic order by the frequent sacrifice of their own blood. The Mayans often constructed their buildings next to the Cenotes because a reliable supply of drinking water was vital for their cities. Some of the cenotes have their entrances in cast caves on the surface that resemble the flooded caves and demonstrate their origin more clearly. It's only a question of time until the cave ceilings will eventually collapse, thereby leaving entrance holes exposed on the outside surface. No one knows what treasures may lie hidden in the cenotes, including, no doubt, numerous sacrifice bowls. So the myth lives on. The almost impenetrable jungle around the entrance holes into the underwater cave system also adds to the mysterious atmosphere. The underworld of the Mayans will hopefully remain a myth as the roots of the world tree reach far into the depths and preserve the rhythm of life. The Mayan monarchs believed that their ancestors lay at rest within the roots of the world tree. So they made sacrifices to the cenotes. The downfall of the Mayan civilization began in Guatemala, and in the 15th century also reached into the city-states of the Yucatan. Famine, disease, and war brought this amazing civilization to an end. The Mayan cities now lie abandoned and most of their myths long forgotten, but the underworld of the cenotes has survived and waits for new discoveries from its tantalizing depths.
Con 80 metros de diámetro, ciertamente es el cenote subterráneo más grande, espectacular e imponente que hemos visto hasta ahora. Aunque no todo es contemplación, ya que por su tamaño, dentro también puedes divertirte en la tirolesa, la trepachanga y las plataformas para clavados que están a diferentes alturas.